States. Well, our next guest may be leaving office in January, but Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell still has a mountain of debt to deal with in some of the municipalities in that state. Things are so bad that the capital, Harrisburg, is on the brink of bankruptcy, skipping a more than $3 million municipal bond payment due in 2 weeks' time. Governor Rendell joins us, though, with some perspective on this from Harrisburg. Good morning to you, Governor. It's great having you on the show. The last time you were here back in June, we talked about this issue, and you said you were starting to see signs of recovery that would keep municipal governments from going out into outright default. Harrisburg, the city, has warned they aren't going to make this $3 million payment. As governor, what is it that you plan to do to help them out?
Well, first of all, Harrisburg's a little of an aberration. They made a very bad deal on an incinerator project, and it's the incinerator debt that's driving Harrisburg's condition. Municipalities all across the country, because of the low revenue yields, aren't doing well. But Harrisburg is a very special situation because of the problems that they've had. They still have some assets. They still have a way to dig themselves out of this short of bankruptcy, and I hope they do. The state is helping them. They're in a second stage. We have something called Act 47, where a city can enter Act 47 with the agreement of our Department of Community and Economic Development, and that helps them a little bit. It gives them a little bit of breathing space. Harrisburg is in the first stages of that. Whether they choose to go into Act 47 or bankruptcy is something that they've got to decide. They've hired a very good financial advisor. That's an important first step. They're going to have trouble paying the financial advisor. We may extend them a loan to help them pay for that financial advisor. But they have a chance to dig themselves out of this without going into bankruptcy, and that's something I'd like to see.
So you would absolutely keep that city from filing for bankruptcy?
Well, no, I don't have the power to do that, but we're going to try to help them and avoid them going into bankruptcy.
Help them make that payment before September 15th, that $3 million payment?
No, we can't do that, but we can help them with their financial advisor. We can extend them money to get the financial advisor working. And the Harrisburg does have assets that they could sell or lease and come up with a significant amount of cash flow that would help them with this. And they've got to make some tough decisions.
It's absolutely some tough decisions. You say that it is somewhat of an outlier here. Are there other municipalities that you've got on watch within your governorship?
Well, there are 5 or 6 municipalities that are in the coverage of Act 47. But Act 47 has been very successful in Pennsylvania during my 8 years as governor and during the Ridge administration in helping cities sort of retool, get a little breathing space, and come back economically stronger. Up until the recession in August of 2008, our cities, because of investments the state's made and helped them made, our cities have bounced back. Our third-class cities, the Scranton, the Wilkes-Barres, the Eries, the Johnstowns, the Yorks, the Lancasters, have bounced back significantly. But, of course, the recession has caused a revenue downfall for all of us, state government, county government, municipal government, and that's difficult to deal with.
Well, you're essentially the chief executive of the state of Pennsylvania. Talk to me about what some of these initiatives that President Obama is pushing forward will actually do to help hiring and to help get jobs created on the ground. Specifically, what does the R&D tax credit do for Pennsylvania? And talk to me about the specifics here.
Well, sure. First of all, understand Pennsylvania has done fairly well in the last 5 months. We've created 54,000 private sector jobs, new private sector jobs. I think that's second in the country behind only Texas. A lot of that's come from, first of all, our cutting-edge companies. And when I became governor, we tripled our research and development tax credit. So I think the president is absolutely right, not only to increase it, but to make it permanent. Making it permanent gives businesses the type of certainty that they need to continue to invest in trying to find new technologies and broaden
But are the construction type jobs that would be created by, say, this infrastructure program and the infrastructure bank that would support it, are those the type of jobs that Pennsylvania needs right now?
Oh, absolutely. The two biggest industries in the first part of the recession that suffered the biggest losses were construction and manufacturing. And those are the industries where the roads and the highways and the water systems and the wastewater systems that are in the stimulus program, those are the industries that got the biggest up plus from that. We took a snapshot on June 30th, Margaret. On stimulus projects only, funded only by the stimulus, there were 8,600 Pennsylvanians working at the construction site. And then we checked with the vendors. 3,600 people had been rehired by those manufacturers, asphalt, steel, concrete, to meet the stimulus orders. So those, and they're good paying jobs. They can't be outsourced. So the stimulus has worked to create those type of jobs. And there's $50 billion that the president wants to do. That will take us through another construction cycle, maybe 2 construction cycles, and continue to drive the recovery.
Right.
I think it's a terrific idea. I think the expensing in a year and a half is a great idea for business investments, the R&D tax credit, and the small business bill that's been held up because of politics that the president's been pushing to get credit into the hands of small businesses. All of these ideas will help significantly with the economy. We've just got to get them through the Congress, and that's very difficult in an election year.
Well, you mentioned
politics is stymieing everything.
You mentioned politics there, sir, and I want to quote you back to yourself. You've been out there speaking publicly. You've used some colorful language to describe the GOP recently. You said it's dominated by people who are flat out nuts. They're wacko. They're Fruit Loops. Turn to your party. How do you describe the Democratic Party right now?
I think right now we're a little dispirited, but we've got to get back on track, and we've got almost 2 months to do it, and I think we can. I think when you look at the problems that President Obama inherited back in January of '09, problems that weren't of his own making, and look at the progress we've made. The economy hasn't collapsed. It hasn't recovered as fast as we wanted, but it's getting better. We're climbing out of the ditch. When you think of the health care legislation that's going to roll out and help Pennsylvanians this month, I'm having 4 different press conferences to highlight changes in the health care system in this country that were brought about by that bill. We've done a great deal. 4 million more children in this country covered by health insurance because of the CHIP program. The president's accomplished a great deal. Democrats should not be
Do you want to be his chief of staff, sir? Your name's getting thrown out as possibly stepping into Rahm Emanuel's shoes, should he depart.
I heard that they were talking about the 2 political people, myself and Senator Mark Warner, and I want to go on record as saying I'm for Senator Mark Warner.
All right, so you wouldn't accept if you were offered that job?
If the president asks you to do anything, you have to consider it. But I think Mark Warner would be a great chief of staff.
All right. Well, we're going to keep tabs on you. Hopefully catch up with you. Thank you for making time today, Governor. I appreciate it.